Hello and welcome to another video with me, Winner and Trades, doing another video for the weekly dose of Andrew, which I am still waiting for more suggestions for a different name for this series, considering the name I currently have is absolutely horrible. So yeah, please put name suggestions for this series below in the comments. Seriously. But anyway, this week. Starting off with things when it comes to my channel, I guess, considering yeah, 2 videos for the Uruguay series this week. Considering what I was planning to do on Monday, I kind of had to, yeah, I kind of just rage quit on it, I guess. Trying to do another series which involved the random game parts of Age of History 2. And yeah, not much control on how that starts. The game basically keeps making it where I'm starting off as one of the weaker countries, I guess, surrounded by some of the strongest countries. Which, yeah, out of all the tries I did, the first one was basically the best I got, in which was actually doing pretty good up until 2 countries about just which both of them were basically about as strong as me decided to join together and go to war with me. So yeah, that kind of went to an end there, considering I kind of can't fight 2 countries that are just as strong as me at the same time in the early game and everything. So yeah, that fell apart. But yeah, I cannot wait until I can actually get away from HA History 2, considering the game is horrible. For goodness sakes, every single time I try to start a new game on there to try and get a good start for that series, I had to restart the game entirely because of a bug every single time I want to try and do that. So yeah, speaking of how horrible my computer is, my computer actually did try to die again, with a CPU fan not being detected. So that's great. It almost went 2 weeks without doing that to me. In all honesty, I really don't actually know what's causing that CPU fan not to be detected, considering when it happens, I literally just need to hold down the power button for a second or two, let it turn off basically, and turn immediately back on again, and it just starts working. So, yeah, no idea what's with that, but it works. So, it's good, I guess. Don't know how long my computer is going to last before it actually dies, but whatever. Um, so I guess that's enough talking about all that, and I can get back to talking about anime like I normally do. So, next here is Yukina Izahiro, starting off with this, which at this point I'm basically guessing that uh, this part of this currently is taking place between the ending of the first season and the beginning of the second season. That's what this currently is, I think. But in the first half of this season here is probably going to be just the beginning of season 2, basically. The first half of it, at least. But from the perspective of these other characters that we now have, I guess. And then maybe the second half of this season will be an actual continuation of the second season. I honestly have no idea. So yeah. Let's see. Other characters aren't actually listed on here yet, because Mal doesn't actually update things completely, I guess. Oh well. But next up here is Taisho Maiden Fairy Tale. So yeah, one thing I would have to say about this, which is basically the only thing I really have to say, is why in the world is this so fucking wholesome? Especially considering the situation that these 2 characters are in. Why is it so wholesome? I don't understand. but I'm definitely going to be enjoying this anime, I think. So, next up, Sayate no Paddlin, or Paddlin of the End, I guess. Ultimate Paddlin, whatever. Synonyms here on Mal for it when it comes to the English title. But yeah, first episode was basically just world building and everything. But so far it does seem interesting here. And I don't really have all that much else to say because it was basically just a world building episode, getting everything set up and everything. So yeah, next up, 86, second season here. Shin and his little group and everything have gotten to the point where they're tired of waiting, doing nothing basically, and want to go back fighting on the front line and everything. But of course, the guy that's basically adopted them, Ernst or whatever his name is pronounced, wants them to go through officer training. So once the war is over, they actually have benefits from being being an officer and everything, I guess. And also, apparently, Fredrika here, whatever, is apparently the queen of the former empire there, basically, who basically unleashed all the vertexes and everything, I guess. Or something. I don't really know. But don't really have anything else to say here right now. And also, I guess Elena and Shin basically won't be really meeting up with each other anytime soon, I guess. At least not in the first half of this season, that's for sure. So yeah, next up is my senpai is annoying. And of course, to start this off here, basically just kind of feels like Usagi-chan and Tagaki-san a bit. Just kind of has the feel that both of those anime have, kind of. Which makes sense considering what this anime is. So yeah. Just going to kind of mention things that happened in this episode, I guess. Like, Mona here, I think is who it was, with the vodka bottle. That definitely had water in it. Yeah. I don't think I really believe that that was actually water. But it could have been, I guess. And also, Futaba's, yeah, Igarashi. Grandpa misunderstanding, climbing the stairs of adulthood. Yeah. She definitely didn't say the right words there, I guess. Making it very easy for it to be misunderstood. And the final thing that I want to mention here is when it got to the credits, the ending there, Natsumi here, seeing her there in the credits, the first thing that popped into my head was Isaiah. Considering, yeah, pictures that's available here on Mal for Natsumi, Kurobe here, and then compare it to Isaiah. Yeah, bit of some similarities here between the two characters, at least with the coats that they're wearing, basically, and also I guess spiky hair, kind of. But yeah, first thing I thought when I saw her there was Isaiah. And then going on to Mal, looking at it and seeing that, and yeah, kind of to me just looks like a gender bent version of Isaiah, basically. Though probably is not actually going to be like Isaiah at all, I guess. I don't really know. But yeah, next up, Meriroku-chan. still have a bit of a hard time pronouncing that, but okay. So, the end of this episode got very wholesome, surprisingly. I honestly did not expect to get that wholesome. And also, apparently these monsters basically have a counterpart. Basically. Don't know what to really call them. Got the monsters, but their counterpart to them, I was like, what in the world am I actually supposed to call them? I honestly don't know. So I guess the alternate is called the monsters demons instead, and then the others are fair angels, I guess. I don't really know, but they definitely have a counterpart after seeing that. So yeah, Kimitsu Nuyba. First episode here is yeah. The first episode basically just is complete original as from my understanding, which to be honest is actually quite good, I think. And basically just leads you into this arc for the story and everything. So yeah, definitely good, I think. The next 6 episodes is literally just going to be what was in the movie, but in an episode form instead. So yeah, not really that much here for me to talk about from this point on, I guess, considering I kind of already seen all this. So yeah, next up. So the beginning of this episode was basically just episode 1, but from Roxy's perspective. In which, of course, in the end, Roxy decides to avoid dead end, despite the fact that that is exactly who they should be looking for, considering Brutus is a part of dead end. So yeah, I guess Brutus and Roxy aren't really going to be meeting each other soon, I guess. Especially considering, from what I can tell, they're literally going in opposite directions. They're both in that same city there, but then they both go off in opposite directions from each other. So yeah, I don't think they're really going to be meeting each other. Also, something else I didn't really realize, but apparently has happened, is the fact that the rest of Brutus's family is also missing. It's like, exactly how did they all go missing as well? That I don't really understand myself, but okay. And also, I kind of have a feeling I know exactly what's going to happen in the next episode, considering how this one ended. The Beastman, or whatever you want to call them, that has captured Rudis, is going to get in trouble for doing all this to someone that saved those kids. Yeah. I have a feeling that's basically how this is going to play out. So, next up. The slow life anime here. Don't really know what else to call it. And this episode was mostly basically just the past between Red and Rit, basically, I think. And also, Rit seems to me seems basically be the most realistic form of a tsundere there is, pretty much. Or what I think is basically the more common thing when it comes to tsunderes is that Rit is basically in the later portion of what a tsundere is, considering tsunderes basically are much more soon than dere at the start, and then eventually grow to be more dere than soon, basically. But really, Rit is basically just a realistic tsundere, basically. So yeah, that's nice. Actually seeing a realistic tsundere for once. And also, Ares is a complete asshole. Yeah. Doesn't care about anyone at all, to be honest. He's so much of an asshole that it may as well be the Demon Lord, in my opinion. Yeah. Also, the group T there, after Ares brought the new party member that's supposed to replace Red, I think the one line of her saying, "You will be under my command," was kind of a jab at Ares for kicking Red out of the party. It's like, you will not listen to what he tells you to do. You are under my command. That's what kind of feels like what she was saying when she said, "You are under my commands," there. Giving a little jab to Ares there for doing that. So, yeah, don't really have much else to say here now. So, next up, this is an anime. And this episode was mostly just the beginning of Luke's new life. To be honest, I really don't actually know how to pronounce that name. So Luke, I guess, is how I'm going to say it. Yeah, beginning of his next life here and everything. And yeah, no idea what that D rank skill is that I chose, considering we weren't told that. But I'm guessing we're going to be learn that later on. And I guess it's your typical low ranked skill that is very overpowered if used correctly. Yeah. Don't really have anything else to say besides obvious things about the episode that I'm not really going to mention. So yeah. Next up, I am done. So, all the anime for this week I've covered that I had anything to actually say about. So, moving on to adult games, age games, whatever you want to call them. Like I do at the end of every episode here, starting off with Ripples. And to be honest with this game, it is a game that I've actually had installed on my computer for a few months now, and it only just finally got around to actually playing it. So yeah, I would say it's pretty good, to be honest, with like the 3.5 chapters it has, I guess. I'm guessing it's half a chapter. The third chapter, you only have half the third chapter currently. So yeah, time travel being the main thing, hence the name Ripples, butterfly effect, water effect, or whatever, I don't know. Yeah, third chapter, I think it was. Bob definitely deserved what happened to him, I think, with the fact that he broke something very important. Personally, I think he deserves that, so yeah. And another thing with the game is that there are a decent amount of choice at least, and I don't really know exactly how much those choices actually matter, but I think they, at least some of the choices, actually have meaning behind them and will affect the story. Especially ones when it comes to you going back into the past. But otherwise, I don't really know how much effect those choices have on the story. They at least seem to have effect on it, but I'm not exactly sure how much. So yeah, got that out of the way. Next game, which I literally played today as of recording this, which actually got an update last week, but Ichio apparently cannot tell the difference between version numbers. And yeah, Tales of Unity. Updated to version 10 part 1. And yeah, Ichio cannot tell the difference between version 9.3, I think it was, and 10 part 1. Seriously, Ichio apparently can't tell the difference between those, so I kind of had to manually update the game. on the Itch.io app to get that to work. So yeah, not that much content's really added to it. And it's a pretty small update, especially considering how long the wait was for it. So yeah. Also, if you're interested in the game and you don't like fourth wall breaks, you probably shouldn't play the game, considering there is lots of fourth wall breaks. Even a bit too many for me, I think. At least with this update, there's a few too many fourth wall breaks, I think. Though, the main fourth wall break in this update, I would approve of completely, considering it's basically a little retaliation to the developer of Opie Odyssey calling his game shit, basically. Yeah, as I said in a previous video for this series. But really, when it comes to these developers for all these games I played, it's like I can clearly tell that there's at a decent amount of them are friends, I guess, and have a Discord server where that they're all in, and they'll help each other when they need it, I guess. So yeah, to be honest, that is something that I honestly really like, is the fact you got that group of developers there. Which, the developers of Tales of Unity, Opie Odyssey, of course, and Lessons in Love, Heroes Harem Guild, I'm pretty sure I can easily say they're all a part of that group. I don't know about others that are there, but I think there's a decent amount, I think. So, yeah. One last thing for Tales of Unity here is that the first chapter is definitely going to be reworked, considering literally right before this I started recording this episode, I saw a post on Patreon from the developer basically putting up a poll asking how he should handle the rework, if he should basically add the build option to skip the first chapter and just basically put a little recap there with the main choices in it, so you can just continue straight on to chapter 2 or not, just having that option there, or basically just not doing that and focus on actually doing the rework, I guess. So yeah, first chapter is definitely going to get reworked, which is definitely needed considering that it's way too quick of a story progression in that chapter. Though to be honest, I kind of think that in general the game's story progression is a bit too quick, including what was added in this update version 10 part 1. Considering Chubby captured in a few earlier versions, I guess, like 2 or 3 versions before, I don't really know. She gets captured, then I think in the next update after that, she escapes, and then we get this chapter where she's back. Yeah. Bit quick, and doesn't really have much suspense. And I'm guessing when it comes to the other character that we just now kind of learned that has been captured, Blue is probably going to be freed in the next update, considering how things are going when it comes to story progression in the game. Yeah, the game definitely has some big flaws, I think, but I still love it, to be honest, despite all that. So yeah, don't really have anything else here to say. Hopefully I can get Age of History 2 to work so I can actually start the next series I want to do on it Monday. So yeah, and if my computer actually lives to the point where I can actually finish off these Age of History series that I'm doing, and the ones I'm going to be starting, hopefully my computer can handle playing Europa Universalis 4, considering I do have that on Epic now, so yeah. If my computer can handle it and my computer does not die before that, I'll probably start making videos of that. And yeah, that is the end of this video. If you have comments, suggestions for a different name for this series, leave it in the comments below. Seriously, I need suggestions. Change this. So yeah, that there is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.